Turn the music down. This is unacceptable.
That's why we're clearing up and closing down the party, sir.
They turned this house into a nightclub.
Amount of people that you are in the backyard is, it's like being on South Beach. Last weekend, there was over 150 people. I sent you the videos.
This is not South Beach.
Neighbors say since the pandemic started, there have been parties at this mansion on 89th Street in northeast Miami-Dade County.
This house had buses 2 weeks ago coming in. Buses at 10 to 1 in the morning. I called the police.
There's a bouncer that stands at the door sometimes at parties, and he has to charge them.
Then about 2 o'clock in the morning, they start up the Lamborghinis, which there's usually 6 or 7 of them here, and they race them.
The wild parties spill out into the street, but neighbors say what they have seen behind the walls is especially scandalous.
My bedroom doors open to their, just almost above their pools. I've seen porno shot there. I've seen just regular parties where, no one wears anything.
And there's something very interesting about this $2 million house. According to property records, it's owned by an LLC, but we dug deeper and found that the LLC is owned by a Miami-Dade police officer and a retired Miami-Dade officer.
¿Dónde está la policía? ¿Por qué putas no llega la policía? Why the police is not here? I called like 10 minutes ago. It's a shooting in front of
Now the police coming. Now the police.
Katherine Fernandez-Rundle claims she cracks down on sex crimes.
All of us are committed to arresting those who dare to exploit human beings.
But not when it's a serial rapist cop. Hialeah police officer Jesus Menacol Jr. spent 2 years kidnapping and raping at least 4 women while on duty, including a 14 and a 17-year-old girl. Menacol forced them into his police car, ordered them to perform oral sex, penetrated them with his fingers, made one woman watch him masturbate, and demanded a 17-year-old girl strip naked in a cameraless room at the Hialeah police station.
When I left out of that police station, I felt like I left all my dignity.
He told all his victims, if you ever say anything,
I will find you and I will kill you. If you tell anyone, you'll disappear. I'll find you and kill you.
One of the women reported her attack, and 5 months later, she was killed after allegedly falling out of a moving vehicle. Menacol never reported stopping any of the 4 victims. Video from the Hialeah Police Department shows he took an additional 9 women into rooms with no cameras, and we have no idea who they are or what happened to them because Menacol, again, never filed a single report on them either. Even though an internal affairs investigation found he committed unlawful sexual activity with minors and had broken more than 20 departmental rules.
The state attorney's office did not prosecute.
Katherine Fernandez-Rundle cleared him of any wrongdoing. And she lied. Rundle said she interviewed all of Menacol's victims, but she only talked to one of them. Then Rundle blamed the girls for being raped because some of them were possible victims of human trafficking, describing them as gang members, calling one young girl a bipolar chronic runaway, and wrote that none claimed outright force or threat. And now, Rundle says the case files disappeared from her office. But it turns out, Rundle routinely loses documents in important cases. The Hialeah Police Department gave Menencal a promotion and a raise, and for the next 4 years, let him patrol the exact same streets where he stalked his victims. Until finally, the FBI was tipped off and arrested Jesus Menencal Jr. for the crimes Katherine Fernandez-Rundle tried to cover up. For 27 years, Kathy covers for corrupt and killer cops. 27 years of injustice. Isn't that enough?
Black Lives Matter, but not to Katherine Fernandez-Rundle. On June 23, 2012, Darren Rainey, a mentally ill inmate at the Dade Correctional Institution, was locked in a shower by prison guards. They rigged the water to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and he was kept in there for almost 2 hours. Until his flesh melted off the bone.
He just continued to yell, "It's hot, get me out of here," and kept kicking and kicking and kicking. "I'm sorry, I can't take it no more, I won't do it again." And then the kicking started slowing down, and then it sounded like he hit the wall, and then his body fell, and then there was no more yelling.
Darren was found with 2nd and 3rd degree burns over 30% of his body. He was boiled to death. Darren was serving 2 years for drug possession. It turned out to be a death sentence. And Katherine Fernandez-Rundle covered up his murder. It took 5 years for Rundle to complete her so-called investigation, and her final report was filled with lies. She falsely reported the water temperature and outrageously claimed that Darren suffered no burns. Rundle listed his cause of death as schizophrenia, heart disease, and confinement in a shower.
They locked him in there. He was crying for help, and they ignored him for 2 hours. This is exactly what we mean by Black Lives Matter.
No officer was disciplined or criminally charged for the grisly murder of Darren Rainey. But that's no surprise. Katherine Fernandez-Rundle has never prosecuted a law enforcement officer for an on-duty killing in her entire 27 years as Miami-Dade State Attorney. 27 years of injustice. Isn't that enough?
Thank you so much.
South Florida politicians, and one campaign thinks he's gone too far. NBC6's Phil Pearson looks into it.
Now, if someone takes a video of themselves expressing their political opinion and posts it online, most of the time it's just another opinion out there. But not everybody is Billy Corben, the documentary filmmaker behind 30 for 30's The U, Screwball, and Cocaine Cowboys. South Florida-based filmmaker Billy Corben tells NBC6 he stayed up all night making this video.
Darren Rainey.
It highlights the controversial case of Darren Rainey, a man who died after being kept in a boiling hot jail shower for 2 hours. State Attorney Fernandez-Rundle didn't charge law enforcement personnel involved.
If she gets reelected, there will be more Darren Raineys. There will be more unarmed, helpless people who will be abused by the system.
Fernandez-Rundle's campaign told the Miami Herald Corben violated campaign finance laws with the video, that the video is an expenditure, requiring Corben to form a political committee. He disagrees.
She is so reckless and irresponsible and ignorant of the law that she would pull a move that you'd only see in Cuba under Fidel Castro.
Corben points to this. Within Chapter 106 of Florida law on campaign finance, there is an exemption if it's distributed on an unpaid profile and is available to the public without charge.
He produced this himself, he narrated himself, and he put it out on Twitter, which is a free platform.
J.C. Planis is a professor of election law at St. Thomas University. He tells me there is no difference between someone with 10 followers posting a video opinion and someone like Corben with almost 78,000. Planis says even if Corben was sued or charged with violating the law, the courts could throw it out.
Courts keep on pushing back against any intrusion into the First Amendment.
NBC6 requested an interview with Fernandez-Rundle to know the next steps. Her campaign told us they did not have additional comments. Her opponent in the race, Melba Pearson, says she didn't have anything to do with the video, but supports Corben's right to speak truth to power. Some videos are not exempt from the law, like television ads. TV stations have specific political rates. Facebook videos, you can post on there for free, but then sometimes people pay to expand the reach. Twitter is free, so Planas tells me that it is exempt from the law. In Miami Springs, Phil Prazins, NBC6 News.